Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Happy Monday. I am Nicole Everett, the host of Conversations with Nicole. Welcome, welcome. Today is what I call Mindset Monday, and this is an opportunity for you and me to have a conversation along with my special guest. My special guest is not a stranger to Conversations with Nicole. We are happy to welcome him back. But before we bring him on, I would like to hear from you. I want to know where you are tuning in from. So if you will, in the comments, put in your city and state, and that way we can give you a shout out. This is the last day of January 2022. And boy, what a fantastic day it has been for me here in Tallahassee. Today, Tallahassee Community College did the unveiling of their annual Black History Month calendar. And so the focus this year is on Black health and wellness, Black health and wellness. And I'm going to turn this around so you can see it. They did a luncheon today, and our very own Dr. Asha, I was her special guest. She's featured as Miss July. I was honored in the calendar about 2 years ago. And so they really did a great job on this, a really great job. So shout out to TCC and Miss Cherry Hall Alexander, who started this calendar back in 2000. So get your hands on one of these because you're going to learn about some folks here that are doing great and wonderful things. All right, so I see a few of you on. Thank you so much. Mika, she's been such a loyal supporter. Appreciate you right here in Tallahassee. Mr. Maurice Marche McLeod, thank you for being here right here in Tallahassee. And my own cousin, Susan Stokes in Suffolk, Virginia. So Virginia's in the house. Our guest is from Virginia tonight. So shout out to all the folks in the VA. All right, so I am going to read a little bit of my guest bio. And my guest is Mr. Ozzie Daniel, who is a regular here on CWN on Mondays and Wednesdays. Okay, we got a few other folks. Dr. Gwen Singleton, hello from Tallahassee. She's right here. Lynette in Midway. Thank you so much. And we got Nick from Indianapolis, Indy in the house. Thank you for being on. Appreciate you all. All right, so Ozzie, who I actually met through, I think, Joe Keetra, if I'm not mistaken, has, again, been quite the supporter of what we have going on here today. All right, so Ozzie has served in the U.S. Navy for 20 years, and thereafter he went back to school and obtained his bachelor's of arts in psychology and then a master's of science in leadership. He's worked as a counselor at a psychiatric center and currently is working as a contractor and a case manager for Virginia Support Services, clinician family coordinator and mental health builder. He works with young men in the community and establishes better care for homeless men and those with mental conditions through coordination. So help me welcome Mr. Ozzie Daniel.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, Ozzie Oz.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me and the opportunity to join you, Nicole.
Absolutely. My pleasure. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So tell the people who don't know who you are, because I already described what you do. Tell the people who is Ozzie Daniels.
Well. I am. I was thinking about that. I knew Nicole was going to bring that up, and I would like to consider myself as a man who have a soul and who worship Elohim, and knowing that everything is Elohim and everything belongs to Him, and without Him, there's nothing. So I love to acknowledge that so much in my life. I am the firstborn of two wonderful parents that are going to have the 53rd anniversary March the 1st. And I am so grateful that they love each other and they're so good to each other and support each other throughout all these years. I'm the firstborn of five brothers and sisters that are great and wonderful in all that they do, distinctive personalities, and we are different in every way, but we love each other so much. I also have two children, Malachi and Diamond. They are, I call them young people because they're not no children. They always will be my children, but they're of that age now, 18 and 27, going on 28. So, yes, I'm giving away my age now, right? um, so, I am a lover of people, I care about people. And the one thing that I've learned that nobody care how much you know until they know how much you care. So that's one of my mottos that I live by, and I do my best in every attributes to practice that in my daily living. I'm a person that also like to work with others and grow with others and help cultivate whatever vision that they have going on in their lives so they could, build up their own self and maximize their vision. So there's a lot to me, and I love sports, and of course, the playoffs is over. No Monday Night Football, Nicole. So,
You mean you're gonna be on
so
here?
we waited for the Super Bowl. So it was
Uh-huh.
a great playoff 3 weeks of entertainment and that, but also, I just enjoy life. I love life
All
and I
right.
embrace life, and life is what's all about.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that, Ozzy. I think
Mhm.
again through this broadcast, some folks have gotten to know you better, but I'm sure they're glad to get the visual and the full experience, virtually. So that's pretty cool. So
Awesome.
we are on Facebook and on YouTube and on Greater Works Network via Roku TV tonight. So please like, comment, share. This is an interactive live. We want to hear from you. We want your input. This is a safe space and somewhere where you can, engage with our community. Engage with our community. Last day of January, we got Black History Month coming up, all the things, and so I'm just grateful to be here with you. And I gotta ask you now, you got this QMHP, these letters. I'm not familiar with QMHP. What is that?
Yeah, we're nothing but Qs. QMHP is, qualified mental health professional. We actually are licensed, by the state of Virginia and other states that license, QMHP. So what we do, we don't just work with clients, we actually go into the homes and cultivate and educate them in the homes and coordinate their appointments and follow through on their activities and follow up on their progress monthly, quarterly, and ensure that they are getting all the needs that they could possibly get, because a lot of them do not get the support that they need. And because of that, we actually come in and help them establish that. Some parents, they get burnt out, so by being burnt out, they're not going to give the services to their children and be effective and efficient in all that they're doing. So when you are actually working with clients, you're not just working with them alone. You actually get to see the whole household and the whole environment, what they're dealing with and what they're working with, and how it interact in their everyday living. So we work on their ADLs also.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I hadn't heard that one before, but thank you for giving us clarity on that.
Mhm.
All right, so I asked Ozzie to come back on the show, and he said he wanted to talk about balancing your work life, but managing your personal life, managing your personal life. So let's dive in. Balancing that work life, your work, having work life balance, should I say? That was one of the things that we kind of talked about as a subcategory. So talk to us about why that's important.
The reason why that is so important, we happen to maximize in our career. We do everything that we could do to move up the ladder and work as hard as we can to make sure that we are bringing enough income or even expanding our vision. But the most important thing that we need to understand also that home life is so important and our personal life is important too. So if you're not giving that home the love for those who are married, not really those who are single, but those who are married or single moms, single dads who have children, the respect really come from home. The love come from home. So if you're not leading yourself, you're not going to get that respect. And if you're not leading yourself in all that you do, your character will be kind of shaded or tainted, and that would not bring enough joy into your work. And that will overflow into that workplace, and it could be quite negative. But you want that home base to be real positive in everything that you do. So that means you'll be able to bring enough stability and balance. So the focus is this: focusing on your own personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Proverbs 19:21 states that many are the plans of a man's heart, but the Lord will that will prevail. So therefore, if we are focusing on all our plans only and not on our true purpose, we're
Mm-hmm.
not going to find joy and satisfaction in all that we do, and that will end up making us even more miserable.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do we do to really maximize our own personal life? Is really what going to flow into the community. Many of us get so busy working many hours and putting so much effort into other people's lives that we ourselves neglect our own self.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get burnout and then we get negative. And when negativity come along, now everything starts floating downhill instead of streaming uphill. So we have to understand that our vision is so important, but how big our vision is or are, we need to make sure that we are maximizing our round table. So who
Mm-hmm.
is sitting at your round table daily will really improve your life or it's going to decrease your life.
So let me ask the viewers, how many of you all kind of struggle with the work life balance? Just give me a church finger or a wave or a thumbs up or something like that in the comments. In the comments. All right, Dr. Asha is on. She said, check your table. Love it. All right. Jamil is on. Hey, Jamil. Self neglect cultivates negativity. Hmm. Agreed,
Absolutely.
agreed, agreed. Okay. So, I think that it truly is a balancing act, right? Because our lives are so busy with jobs and family and community things that we get involved in, right?
Right. To the point that we end up forgetting our responsibilities and our own
Mhm,
accountabilities because we so much invested into others.
mhm,
And so many times we end up getting to that point, and I see it in other families that I work with to the point that they get burnt out and they end up getting so negative because they are not seeing no change. So by them not seeing any change, it start affecting their life and their surrounding. So now instead of it multiplying into a positive way, it end up duplicating and multiplying into the whole family. So when you walk into the home, you're not feeling that positive vibe, you're not feeling that love, you're not feeling that connection because everybody is so disconnected into their own world.
Hmm.
So really spending time with your own self and putting investment into yourself, it will help motivate you to the point that you could enjoy the experiences of your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not experiencing your purposeful life, that means something is missing. Many people working like 7+ figures, but they're not happy.
They're
So
making
when they
seven
come
figures, but
home,
they're not
they're not
happy.
happy because they're not really fulfilling their true purpose.
Indeed.
So if we actually taking the time to figure out what we're supposed to be doing purposefully, now we could actually multiply, because now what we're going to start doing is cultivating with gratitude.
Okay. So Lynette had a question. She said, what do you say to people that say balancing is superficial?
Balancing could be superficial to a lot of people because we are living in a life-changing world. Everything is always changing. you know, we have to deal with a lot of stresses, and how do we go about dealing with that? A lot of people would find like, well, I can't find no balance because I have this to do, that to do, and everything else is taking up all my time. So I can't really find balance because I have to pay my bills. Who's going to pay my bills for me? Who's going to do that for me? So it become a more self-centered type of situation, and that they will not be able to find any balance.
Okay.
So we actually have to learn how to turn that around. How do we turn that around?
So we
Stillness.
so we're getting so before you say that, because that is
Mhm.
one of them, but
Yeah.
some people are chiming in about boundaries. So one of the comments that I want to highlight is Dr. Asha. She said, I've
Mhm.
struggled with setting boundaries in both areas, work and personal, in other areas as well. It's something I have to monitor daily and even moment by moment.
Actually, that is so true, Dr. Asha. And you got to be intentional about it too.
Hmm.
Being intentional about it is so important because that will actually set the tone. It's
Absolutely.
actually being self aware about doing it and not just speaking it, but actually applying it with action.
Hmm.
Because if action is not applied to it, it's going to just keep on rolling up and getting bigger and bigger to the point that we end up getting overwhelmed. And
Hmm.
that's what we don't want to happen, because then come a nervous breakdown,
Right.
especially those who are working in the mental health field. Is we put so much into others and the output is sometimes so great that we forget that we need to get that input back in.
Hmm.
We got to charge up, you
Right.
know so charging up is very important. And how do we do that? I call this find your 20.
Find your 20.
Find your 20.
Okay.
Yes, that is my own saying, my own makeup, and I believe in that, because if you don't find your 20 minutes, some people do 30 minutes or 40 minutes. You have to find your 20. You'll find your 20 minutes of stillness where you sit still, where you actually relax, no noise, no communication, no interaction with anything but stillness. When you actually get yourself to that point of stillness, you could actually start listening to your soul, and your soul will start speaking to you, and you should be able to have that energy to keep on moving on.
Hmm.
Because if you can't sit still to think, how are you going to be able to act if you're not able to still to think?
Okay.
So it's very important to, whether it may be first thing in the morning, some people may call it devotion, Some people may call it meditation. Some people may call it whatever they choose to call it. But the key is we have to maintain that peace within ourselves. And the way that peace comes beyond understanding is by stillness. So
Indeed.
if we're going to find time to put into others, we have to find our 20.
So I want to highlight Solomon's comment. Thanks for being on here, Solomon. He said it's amazing how many will struggle to spend time with family, but will have all the time in the world for social media. It's all about prioritizing. It's really not that difficult, complex, but definitely not difficult.
Absolutely right, Mr. Solomon. And it really takes discipline,
Mm-hmm.
intentional discipline, where you're
Mm-hmm.
going to set the time and you're going to set the place and you're going to find wherever you need to find to do it. Some people work in the office probably 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. and they have to get children together before they go to school. They probably, when they come home in the evening, they have to help them with their homework. Some may have to cook and still get them ready to go to bed. So
Mm-hmm.
where do you find that place and you set that boundary that you could find your 20? Not while you're sleeping, because by the time you're sleeping, you're so exhausted. Some people are so tired, they just fall asleep wherever. But that does not consider your 20. You're just tired and it's time to go to sleep. But finding your 20s actually sitting still where you're consciously awake, but you're able to just sit there and close your eye and just breathe. You will find so much energy and you'll find so much rejuvenation within your being that you're able to keep on moving on. Because the key is to keep on moving on passionately and not to the point you end up finding, well, why did I do that? Now you're starting to question yourself. Why did I feel that way? But you have to be so in touch with yourself to understand why certain things are happening, but you have to add knowledge to everything you do so you could gain wisdom to know how to apply it perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
you
Okay.
know, because that's what life is all about. Is they're going to be cause and they're going to be effects
Right.
on it.
All right. So I heard boundaries, I heard stillness, and I heard finding your 20.
Finding your 20. And I put my signature on that one there. That's yes,
Okay.
finding your 20. And I mean, I am so serious about that because I remember one time I used to work night shift, you have to sleep all in the evening time. And I used to work from 11 to about 7. So you are up all day, just about. You get that nap in, and then you have to stay up all night on that shift. And now you have patients coming in and you have to be able to be cognitively aware to help them, to assist them, and to get them all ready to be focused in whatever they need to do. Some of them are not even focused at all because that's why they are at the hospital in the first place, because there's a mental breakdown. But
Mm-hmm.
how well are you balanced? You'll be able to transfer that energy by helping that person stay calm too. Because if that person is coming in with an attitude or bad behavior and you are not well rested, that could actually be conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, you end up getting written up for
Mm.
conduct.
Okay. So there's so you're saying rest, good night's sleep.
Oh, yeah, 7 to 8 hours, especially for
Okay.
you all counselors
Mm-hmm.
and psychiatrists and
Mm-hmm.
psychologists. And you got to balance your workload too, because
Mm-hmm.
so many people take on so much workload because they need to pay this or take care of that, all these material gain, and yet they are struggling within their own being to the point that they end up getting sickly themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The more stressed we are, the more our body is immune for sickness.
Right.
So where are we actually putting in that time Oh,
Mine
yes,
is
Dr.
sleep. All,
Asha. I am
it's
all
all
about
about
my
us
sleep
sleep.
too. Ask my friends who know me well. Even ask Nicole. What time? 9:30. Things start to get turned off. Things start to get shut down because guess what? I have to get my mind right, get myself relaxed because once I hit that bed, I know it's good night. And I make sure that I am well hydrated before I go because I want to sleep all night without having to get up in the in the morning to
Mhm.
go use any restroom. So
So
all of
let
these things have to be considered.
so let me pause right there. You
Mhm.
said, around 9:30 start shutting things down.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you, a moment of transparency for me right now. I have
Mhm.
been challenged with that this past week. Like I have been so wired, and I have been on my phone. I've been in the bed, but on my phone,
Um,
scrolling or posting or what have you, and
mhm.
it's caused me to not be sleepy like I am, but I'm not. I'm just my mind is still like going, 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 going,
Okay,
going.
that's a well, you know what you have in your hand that actually keep your mind still going? Your
Mhm.
phone. And
Right,
it's blue light. So that means there's still a lot of activity going on in your brain because you visually reading, you visually watching whatever you are doing, and that will obstruct you from even going to sleep and falling asleep, even though you're tired, your mind is still racing. So therefore, that phone got to go away at
right.
least 5 feet away from you. And
Mhm.
you have to say, okay, I'm going to turn the volume off. I'm going to shut it down. And whoever need to reach me, they will just have to wait till in the morning.
Mm.
Because as Dr. Asher say, if you love your sleep, you got to put it in,
Right.
because the worst thing is to get up in the morning and you're not feeling well rested. So that
Mhm.
means a lot of people will say, I'm not a morning person because I need to get my coffee. So
Mhm.
now here it is, your cortisol level is high already because you did not get enough rest,
Right.
right? So you go drink that coffee and the cortisol level even go up even higher.
Mm.
So now you kind of feeling like a robot just trying
Mhm.
to spin off. And
Mhm.
that is not good for the heart.
Right.
It's not good for the heart. So I am not no doctor, physician, but they do call me Dr. Oz. But I will recommend in the evening time to at least get some magnesium,
Mhm.
which actually help relax the muscles, relax the body. Some people drink chamomile tea,
Mhm.
but magnesium work very well because you want your body to be relaxed,
Right.
and that sleep is very important. So now you have to say to yourself, okay, this is a time I'm shutting this off intentionally.
Mhm.
This is a time I am not going to do this
Yeah.
intentionally. Now
Yeah.
you're setting boundaries
Right.
for yourself and you're setting boundaries for others.
Indeed.
So
Mhm.
I know at one time before I could have get to 10 o'clock, it took me a long time because
Mhm.
I had to stay up to watch a late night show with Jimmy Fallon, or I may catch the comedy channel with Trevor Noah and
Mm.
get me a good laugh in before I go to bed.
Right.
But I'm saying to myself, these guys pre-recorded this thing way in the evening time, and they
Mhm.
broadcasting it around 11 and 11:30. And
Right.
here I am staying up to watch this, and these guys are home chilling with their family. So I
Right.
need to put some kind of context to the whole situation and put
Mhm.
some priority to it,
Indeed. Indeed.
So it took me about 3 months to switch from 12 to 11.
Mm.
Then it took
Mhm.
me another 2 months to switch from 11 to 10. And then after I did it for a while, my body just started getting used to it because whatever you train your body to do with habits is your body going to follow up. Your body going to start reminding you, okay, it's 9:30. What's up? We're going to lay it down or what?
Indeed, indeed. So great, great example. I really like that you are showing or expressing the stages that you went through. You didn't just say, all right, I'm used to staying up to midnight and now I'm gonna go down to 10 o'clock because you did gradual steps. I love that.
Yeah,
We got a
it's a
number of
process.
people being transparent about some things that they need to do to have that work life balance. So Jamil said, transparency moment. I need to be better with staying hydrated. I need to put drink water reminders in my phone. So thank you for sharing that. And then Marjorie said that she has really bad sleep habits. She's most productive at night, so she sleeps for 4 hours or less. She has to work on that. So we all got things we got to work on, right, for that balance.
That's exactly true. And if we want to have longevity in our life, we need to start paying attention to these things now.
Mhm.
Because if we get 4 hours of sleep at night, that
Mhm.
is not enough rest for the body. And then that's going to lead to high blood pressure. Now, if someone have a habit of eating a lot of sweets in the evening time, that means you're going to always keep on, your insulin level is going to keep on shooting even higher and higher. So that
Mhm.
means your whole liver and your digestive system going to be compromised. So that means you have to set a time of your last meal. You have to have the time where you're going to say, okay, I'm not going to eat this certain things that are loaded with carbs in the evening time. So my body could be able to start breaking things down and digesting so I could be able to go to sleep and rest well at night. Because once you get a good night rest, you are the most happiest person in the world. You're loving, you're kind, you have more gratitude, and you have a better smile on your face. So when
Mhm.
people see you coming into the office, they don't have to duck behind the desk to say, "Oh Lord, here she comes," or "Here he comes." I don't know what I'm going to hear from that person's mouth today.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's good that you have a reminder app for your water.
Mhm. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yes, let's not talk about fasting. That's a whole nother show. I fast about 16 to 18 hours a day.
yeah. Mhm.
Yes, and I have been doing that for a year now, but believe me, the process was a monster. Okay, it was. Because first thing I said, I'm an island man. What you telling me I have to break down my food or eat at this certain time? You know,
Mhm.
yes, that is true.
Yeah.
So when you actually eat so much, it basically going to your body's still in digestive mode.
Right.
So cutting off at a certain time, your body start getting relaxed, and then your body start processing and using all the nutrients from those healthy meals to energize your body.
Mhm.
So practicing fasting or intermittent fasting, all you're doing is promoting longevity to your life.
Okay. Got it. All right. I'm taking notes, right?
I know you are. And that's good. I have a whole lot of notes here, and I know I'm not even going to touch majority of it for
That's okay.
tonight, so it's all
You-
right.
That just means you got to come
But
back. That's all.
basically, we are interacting tonight, and
Yeah.
everybody's getting involved, and that's important.
Right. So one of the things that we talked about prior to the broadcast was changing and improving your inner circle. Changing and improving your inner circle. And why is that
Yes.
important for your personal life?
That is so important because value is the key. If that person is not adding value or you not adding value to someone's life, that means you are decreasing in value. So having someone, I always say, always have someone in your life that is way smarter than you. Yeah,
Mm,
we tend to act like, oh, I know everything. Nobody gonna tell me about how to manage my life or manage my personal life. But the way we grow is in numbers. Isolation is good for, one on one, you know, but when we isolate ourselves, basically we are breaking our own self down to the point that we are unable to connect with others. So we want to grow and be able to have a good attitude about everything. So when we have a great attitude, our heart and our mind follow our dreams.
Mm.
And if we are not able to do that, that means there's going to be a serious disconnect. So the first table that you actually had was your family table. Everybody grew up in some home, those who were fortunate, with a mother and father. So that was your first round table. There's a lot of lessons, there's a lot of experience, there's a lot of knowledge being shared around that table. Then you move on to your own home, and then you're only going to invite your friends to your home that you need around your table or you enjoy socializing. But yeah, there's time to socialize, but there's time for real hard facts, real hard truth and discussion of life that actually is going to be benefiting you and your purpose and your vision in life.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things that we need to account, because
Okay.
as the word says, if the kingdom of God is within you, that's the only thing that should be flowing through you.
All
So if
right.
we're not connecting with the right people and
Mm-hmm.
allowing ourselves to connect with the right people by changing our own world within our own self, now we're going to really see what really happening. Because as I say, which is a true statement, birds of a feather flock together,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. So Solomon had a question. He said, "Now I do understand the usage of water apps, sleep apps, etc. But the question is, are we going down a dark hole in which we are relying on electronics to do for us the things we naturally supposed to do on our own? The way our creator designed our bodies to operate?" It's a very good question.
Okay, well, I'm going to back up the water app and the sleep apps and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the water apps and the sleep apps that people are using, that's supposed to only be temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Because after you build up a frequency of using it, your mind will automatically know when it's time. So
Okay.
those things supposed to only be temporary. Are you so busy that you cannot remember? Are you so busy that you need a reminder? Yeah. Sometimes we get busy. Sometimes you need a journal. Sometimes you need your appointment books, and most of it is on our phones.
Mm-hmm.
All of our schedule is on our phone. But now what are we doing to really exercise our memory? Are we nourishing our brain to really take in our memory to be applied? So if we forgetting all the time, that means you may have an insulin problem going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If
So
you
look, that's like me trying to make conversations with Nicole on Mondays and Wednesdays a habit for you all. Like after 3 weeks of me twice a week for 3 weeks, now hopefully it's becoming a habit. I don't have to
it's
remind y'all. Y'all just show up. I'm gonna be right here, 8:30.
that's right. That's right. That's right. Automatic, right?
Right.
Now it goes into automatic, and that's what
Mhm.
we want it to be. Going straight into automatic, that you don't really have to think about it. But that's where we have to make sure we are practicing the right habits to go into automatic, because we could practice some bad habits that end up going to automatic, and now when we get called out on it, now it's going to take a long time to break off of that bad habit. But to replace that bad habit, you got to come with another habit, so
Indeed.
that bad habit or whatever habit could decrease.
Right. No,
You
but I
know,
think you made a good point in terms of hopefully, this is to get you started, and then you
Mhm.
will eventually wean yourself off because now your body will be used to getting the sleep, getting the water, so on and so forth, and you won't need the device anymore. You'll
That's
just
right.
fall into that
And
good.
keep your phones away from you at nighttime when you go to bed. If you have a nightstand, put it far away, because you
Mhm.
still get that electronic magnetic going on, and
Right.
it's still initiating with your body.
Mhm.
And then what make it even worse is this. you know you're not getting enough. We are, except those who are living in Florida and those who are living in the Caribbean. you know you're not getting those who live up north. I know you're not out in the cold because you're not going to feel any sun, and we not getting enough sun. That means our D levels start to drop, and then your mood start to change, and all your body functioning start to get fluctuated too because it need that D levels. And one thing I've learned throughout the studies is this: that the darker the skin, the higher your D levels got to be. Yes. So if you're not taking in at least 10,000 IUs of vitamin D daily, you're not getting your daily value within your body. And vitamin D have to come along with vitamin K.
Yeah.
There's handshake. Like some people who are taking in too much sodium, and it's nothing wrong with sodium. It just have a partner called potassium. So if you're not taking in enough potassium, which is supposed to be at least 4,500 milligrams of potassium a day, that's why they always say eat your fruits and vegetables.
Right.
Is because nobody really taking enough. So sometimes you have to get a supplement or potassium citrate to take to help your body, because if we are not doing that, our body start reminding us, hey, what's up? You're not taking care of me.
Right.
And I don't feel like going to no hospital, and the warning signs always come. That's why getting your 20
is
very important, because your 20 will tell you what's going on in your body.
Right. So I don't know if you can answer this. I mean, you're not Dr. Oz that's on TV, but what are your thoughts about the best hours to do intermittent fasting?
Okay, so the best hours for intermittent fasting, I will say this: you do not go straight into the swimming pool, into the deep. Now, I would say the best thing to do, if your first meal is at 8 o'clock, practice 12 hours. You have your 3 meals, within a 12-hour time span. And then you just start shortening those time, So if you start eating about 10, and your last meal is before sunset, at least 5, 6, nothing after 6 o'clock, I think that's the best hours of intermittent fasting.
Okay.
Nothing after 6 p.m. Only water after that. And believe me, it's a mind thing. Your mind will tell you, oh, I'm going to be hungry at 8 o'clock. That's your mind speaking, but you got control over it. So all you have to do is just break that habit, So, but it takes a process. So I wouldn't say just jump into it like that, just gradually, because I didn't just jump into it just like that. But after a while, I would say this: the first 3 months at 10 a.m., if you put a bull in front of me, I would have killed that bull and eat every piece of that bull. That's how hungry I was. Okay. But after a while, your body realized, okay, I just use whatever inside of my body and use that. That's what you want. So use it for energy, because you have enough energy within your body already. But the discipline is what is needed. And once you start practicing that on a regular basis, you're going to start feeling better. You're going to start feeling healthier, and you're going to start thinking more clearly.
Okay. Great information. So there's some discussion going on. Solomon is talking about how, the apps and social media apps, he believes that the separation would be extremely difficult. But I too just kind of go back to it being, kind of mind over matter. Jamil also agrees with you in terms of these being temporary aids. Your body will adjust to the new routine. So I want to challenge our listeners. I want to challenge our listeners to put your phone away while you're eating your meal. Okay, especially if you are eating with someone, with a family member, with a friend, with a colleague. Just don't even bring it to the table. All right.
Yes.
How many of you do that, by the way? By again, church finger. How many of you do that? You put your phone away while you are eating, especially in the company of somebody. Let me know. Let me know. All right. So, folks are kind of going back and forth with Solomon about this whole, being stuck on these apps.
Yeah.
No. All right.
And the thing is about with all of these apps, it keep you stuck to your phone. And you don't want to get so stuck to your phone that now it becomes such a habit that it become automatic.
Yeah, it does.
So here it is, you have all of this transmission taking place. Of course, the frequency is not high enough to really do anything to the body, but it really messes up with your mind. Because now you're so accustomed of checking on Facebook to see how much likes you get, the ratio of, how many say this or the thumbs up, the hearts, and why this person say this heart and this person only give a thumbs up. So now you're having all this conflict going on, and that's not really managing your personal life.
Yeah.
That is managing your social life on a app, Facebook or whatever app it may be, and it's taking up your time. So if you really start following the data on your phone, it will tell you how much time you've been on that phone and what's the frequency throughout the whole 24 hours if you want to get technical about it. Right. And you can check that, and then you can start intentionally being self-aware to say, okay, this is the adjustment that I am going to make.
Yeah.
This is the adjustment. So if you don't call it out, it's not going to work. If you have to have somebody call it out for you, you're going to probably get upset about it. And then you're going to end up getting an attitude about it because you're not looking at it as constructive criticism. You feel like, oh, you're just picking on me. But now if you really start thinking about how do I value my time?
Right.
Is really the essence of it. Now if you on the phone and you're watching something of value like Conversation with Nicole, now we could understand you set the time frame and it's not 3 hours, it's only an hour long, that you could say, okay, let me see what information I could get here. Or you may go to a YouTube station and see what information you could get there, but let it be concrete. Let it be something that is going to build you up and add value to you and add knowledge to your mind so you could grow.
Right.
So you could be able to be more strategic in your vision.
Okay. No, good points. Good points. All right. Anything else you want to say about that inner circle?
The inner circles, these are the things that we need to figure out what we're going to do at the inner circle. You're going to work on goals and not just goals, but growth. Growth always maximize further than goals because once you reach a goal, then you get bored. What's next? Then you may end up falling back into some old habits because now you achieve that goal and now you're not pushing that goal. But if we start thinking about growth, now we're actually going to start thinking about longevity. And also, what is the foundation, that we're going to talk about? What are we going to plan and level up, whether it may be financially, spiritually, mentally, physically? Do you talk about, well, okay, guys, we're going to work together on getting more physically fit? Are we going to work on spiritual goals? Are we going to complete a project? These are the things that should be discussed around the round table. Now, if somebody at a round table just want to play cards, that is not, that time. There's a time and place for everything. So we're supposed to be working on what we're going to discover, the design, how we're going to deploy it, how we're going to document it, and let that dream be a reality. So these are the kind of conversations that we need to be having around our round table.
So again, great points. I think we kind of get in a tradition of things, and not that traditions aren't great in serve their purpose. But you, like you're saying, growth is good. Perhaps you and your family may start a scholarship fund for the children in the family, or you may decide to buy an additional a piece of property, or help someone start their business. So I really do like that whole goals piece. And that's not just family, but whoever is in your inner circle, whoever is at your table, you all can be
Mhm.
working towards the common good, or some goal that you set for yourself.
Absolutely. That's a true fact. And this came to me not too long ago that even Jesus, he had his disciples, you know, but he had three close friends out of all of them. And
Mhm.
that was his close companions that he actually had a closer relationship with. Because you could have many friends, but only a few friends that you really share some deep inside stuff. But these people really have a great part of your being that really place you on a ground that they're willing to walk with you and be there for you and be able to support you, because you need to have people in your life that is going to be supportive
Mhm.
in doing the right things, to
Right.
make that clear, who could help you think, who could help you organize, who could make you and help you be a better you.
Mhm.
Because when I come into people's life, I'm someone that add value. That's the first thing. How could I add value to Nicole today? How could I
Mhm.
add value to Mike today? How could I add value to David today? That's my
Mhm.
brothers. And that's what I do when I speak with them. It's like, what could I put in and what could I share and deposit within them? Some of the time we just want to be deposited in, or ask the question, well, what do I get out of it?
Mhm.
you know but the key is in spiritual thinking is what we could give out of it, and that's where God wants to bring us at, so we could be able to give and pour into people's life. So the only way that could happen is finding our true purpose, because when you find your true purpose and walking and living in it, you don't even bother with time.
Mhm.
You don't bother with time, because time is just like, well, it's forever, it's eternity. Why? Because you are living, breathing, and walking through it.
Mhm.
So we have to always bring ourselves to this place of stillness.
So let me pause. Solomon had a comment. He said, I'm hearing a lot about self, which is what we supposed to be working on, but how much a factor does our partner play in this growth, especially if they are not on the same page with this growth? It's
Mm,
hell trying to go in one direction, but your partner is pulling you in the opposite direction. And I actually think you kind of addressed this a little bit, Ozzy, from the standpoint of one, knowing your purpose, and two, giving out from yourself, right? And so if you are genuinely trying to support and give to your family member, your friend, what have you, then you put your desires on the back burner, right?
right. And then too, when we do that, that's why we are talking about managing your personal self and managing your personal growth and managing everything about yourself. Because the key about managing self is so you could be able to give a greater output.
Hmm.
Because if you're not putting in within yourself what needs to be there by focusing on it, your output is going to be mediocre. It's
Hmm.
going to be lesser than. It's not going to be the best of yourself. It's going to be minimal. It's just going to be half. It's going to be half baked. But when you really get into yourself and get in touch with yourself and be self-aware now and be able to think everything, the action is much more profitable.
Okay.
And that's
Um,
what we want. We want to be able to plant deep enough. We don't want to be someone that is just into a pot, a
mhm.
plant in a pot. We want to be a plant in the field that our roots could grow deep.
Gotcha. All right. Nicole asks, how do you do that after being burned and betrayed? I'm not sure about that now.
Okay. Well, the one of the thing that you need to do, or I will encourage you to do, is take a break.
Mhm.
Take a break and regroup. You know, take a break and regroup. It may take you 1 month. It may take you 2 months. It may take you 3 to 6 months. Because when we experience a burnout, think about a circuit, a light switch. If something burn out in there, that means you have to take out the whole socket. You have to replace the wire. You have to place it back in and check the breaker and make sure everything is working again. So imagine your brain with a burnout.
Mhm.
It takes a longer while to actually get it back operating. And the only way for that to work is stillness. You got to be able to pull away, disconnect yourself from everything for a while, and slowly, gradually start touching back with others. And now, during that time, you're going to be able to think about, well, you know what? This person actually touched my life. This person actually add value to my life without judgment. And
Mhm.
now you're able to say, okay, I'm going to be wise now in picking my friends and how to socialize with the right people.
Mhm.
Because we don't want to just add value to others, we want to be valued also. And
Right.
if we're not being valued also, believe me, you need to change the address.
Mm. Okay. Change the address. We heard
Change the
that.
address. Did I say
Okay.
that the last time?
Yeah, it sounds familiar. You always change
Yeah.
your address, Ozzie. Look.
Yes, either not at this address or change the address, because
Mhm.
it's very important that you have to be valued. You're valuable. And
You
that's
are.
why I always say that, when we put our life in the Lord's hand and we spend time with him and he bring to our knowledge and our mind what we need to be doing, we need to be obedient in those things.
Mhm.
Because when we're obedient in those things, we are able to maximize and enjoy the blessings that he have in store for us. But sometimes we are too lazy, we're too distracted, we
Mhm.
don't want to listen. We don't
Mm.
want to even listen to the person at the round table who's giving good advice.
Mm.
And then we wonder why. And then we want a handout. We want somebody to stretch their hand out or bail us out.
Well.
But at the same time, all of these things was available to us. So we need to be attentive
Mm.
to it and apply
Right. All
it.
right. Now you Reverend Dr. Oz.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So it's all about becoming a better you. And
Mhm.
and I'm not sharing this today because of just sharing. I have experienced some things over the years, that now I have pulled myself away, and then I was able to analyze
Mhm.
and really regroup and start making sense out of things. But I didn't do it by myself.
Mhm.
I asked for help, from the
Right.
Lord, because he said, come to him, all that old heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So all I wanted, not just rest, I wanted peace of mind. So now to be able to get that peace of mind, you have to put yourself in that peace of mind. You have to relocate your being into the right place so you could experience that peace. So when you experience that peace, guess what? No bank could give you enough money to take away that peace, because that is something so valuable and it is eternal, to the point that you don't want nobody to disrupt your peace, your happiness, or doctor said, your sleep.
Dr. Asha.
Dr. Asha, I love that. I like when she put all that triple E's up in there,
Mhm.
because it is so good. And it's nothing like that, because you see a lot of people get that, go to sleep, but they do not get to the REM 4 to even dream.
Mhm.
So they just laying in the bed, and they're just miserable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nothing like a miserable night.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're sleeping next to someone, now you're making them miserable. So that person is not even being considerate to that other person by actually doing the things that they need to walk together and be in peace with each other.
Yes.
You know?
So Alethea has a very interesting comment that I think some people may struggle with. I know that I do sometimes. She
Mhm.
said, "This is an observation of myself. I try to unplug, disconnect to focus on me, but then feel guilty sometimes because I may not be available at a time when a friend really needs me most." So, what Dr. Oz is saying resonates.
Right. So one thing that I need you to eliminate out of that whole good thing that you shared there, take away that guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't need to feel guilty about nothing that you are investing into your own self for the betterment of others and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people don't have time. They're not even thinking about you because they're so thinking about what other people saying about them.
Right.
So basically focus on what you need to be doing. Let them miss you a little bit. They probably will appreciate you a little bit more and have more love to share with you because you're not in their face, or you're not in their face, and they're not hearing your voice all the time.
Mm-hmm. So you know what I would say to that too, just to add on, Alethea,
Mhm.
perhaps because we talked about goals, and maybe our friends, our loved ones around our round table that Ozzie has talked about setting these goals, and maybe the goal should be, how do I alleviate the stress in my life? Like, what is it that I do? Am I meditating, getting my, what do you say, finding your 20? Am
Finding your
I,
20.
am I setting boundaries? Am I journaling? Am I connecting with nature? Am I fasting?
Um,
Am I shutting down? So, putting those tips and techniques and tools into place so that you're the frequency of stress, the frequency of being in a crisis is significantly reduced because now we've put these coping mechanisms in place such that we have a different perspective about it, and we can be more at peace about it. Right.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And one thing, when you actually do that, and everything that you just said, Nicole, is so brilliantly well said, it helped boost your immune system,
Mhm.
and it helped release dopamine at the right time for you to feel excited and good about what you're doing.
Mhm.
So you have to actually make sure that you are applying it by writing it down too, and
Mhm.
holding yourself accountable. And if you are so timid to a way that you cannot hold yourself accountable, find an accountable partner that is
Accountability.
trustworthy. Find
Right.
an accountable partner that you all could get on the same page and
Mhm.
say, hey, if I'm not following through with this goal, I owe you $5 every time.
Right.
It will speed up the process.
Mhm.
It will speed up the process. And
Right.
these are the things that we need to be thinking about, because once we think about these things, our actions will even be much more valuable.
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
know so that's what, and it all come with attitude. So what kind
Mhm.
of attitude are you having with that? you
Indeed.
know is it a
Indeed.
good attitude, a bad attitude, or you feel like, well, this is what the doctor said, and this is
Mhm.
what he said I need to change at the hospital, so now I have to do it and I'm forced to do it. So
Right.
now who put ourselves in that predicament? We did.
Indeed.
So therefore we have to hold our own self accountable. So let's look at it this way. Yes, self-love is the key. At the end of the day, it's all about self-love. you
Michael
know
Cork said, investing in yourself is the key to having the fuel, knowledge, and temperance to continue to deposit into others. You can't pour if you're depleted. So,
that is perfectly well said. And you can't
mhm.
give what you don't have.
Yep, absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
can't give what you don't have. So that's
Absolutely.
why finding your 20 is so important. You
Find
know,
your
you could
20.
build it up to 30, but start finding your 20. You
Mhm.
know, I think, when I started meditating back in 2009, 5 minutes was eternity to
Mhm.
sit still and to just close my eyes. And I had a timer for 5 minutes, and I thought it was the next day. But guess what? I felt that 5 minutes was so valuable because my I'm sitting still and my brain is just so active. All kind of things is just flooding through my mind. But when you get to a place that you could just sit still and your mind could get still, now everything that is within your soul going to start flooding up to your mind, and that's where the true power is at.
Absolutely.
you know
Absolutely. Yeah.
so
Yeah. No,
and then
that's
you'll be more lovable too, and people
okay.
will love you more, actually,
Mm.
because it's the essence of your being
Hmm.
you
Okay.
know
Good stuff, Ozzie. Good stuff.
Yes, indeed. The
All right.
present is now.
The presence is now.
Yes. So
Hmm.
stop worrying about tomorrow, worrying about next week, worrying about next year, and the month just started,
Yeah.
or ending, So start focusing on your now, so you could know what to do for the future, because living in your now is your future. Whatever
Mm.
you do now is your future. Everything that you are experiencing now is your future. So therefore, if you're disconnected from it and your mind is somewhere else and you can't even focus on what's in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
find your 20.
Find your 20. And for those of you who joined the live late, you're gonna have to catch the replay and find out what the 20 is. All
Yes.
right. So Solomon said, I like this guy, Oz.
Thank
Yes.
you, Solomon.
All right. Appreciate it. Look at all this
Appreciate that.
CWN Mindset Monday love and appreciation going on. I love it. I
Yeah,
love y'all.
it's
I
all about
appreciate
mindset, and creating and cultivating a healthy mindset,
y'all. Absolutely.
and be able to
Absolutely.
concentrate.
Indeed.
And one thing I really realized too, and I'll probably throw this out there for the morning time when you wake up, you know, if you're struggling with remembering, that means you kind of low on your B vitamins too,
Mhm.
and get a B complex vitamin, that could help you digest and remember and create that blood flow going within your body. Because
Mhm.
if your brain is not getting enough oxygen and not getting enough nutrients, you actually depleting yourself, that going to lead to dementia, lead to Alzheimer's and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
you don't want that being in your 30s,
Right.
you know and these are the things that we need to really focus on now, because I spend so much time teaching families on a regular basis about the healthy nutrition, about taking care of your body. Some homes that I walk in, they got nothing but chips on the table, cookies, and sugar, and you can't see no bananas, you're not seeing no fruits, you're not
Mhm.
seeing no apples. So
Right.
how do I had to help them to start changing their thinking,
Mhm.
start changing their thinking, because the first thing you're going to do every time is keep going back for it because it's sugar. As we
Mhm.
would say back in the islands.
Mhm.
Sugar is a little good, but too much sugar ain't good, because
Mhm.
everything that we eat turn into sugar.
Right. 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 All right. Hey, Esther. Esther's up in Maryland.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Lynette
I'm pretty
said her
big
go
on
to.
the health thing. Some people are big on the workout and exercising, which is great. It releases endorphins in our body and give that good feeling,
Mhm.
but 90% is what we put in our mouth,
True.
you
True. True.
know?
True. True.
Yeah. And then we put on our clothing and like, I wonder why this thing's so tight, you know?
Hmm.
Well,
You
what you
know
been
what,
eating last night?
Ozzy? Stop, Ozzie. You better stop.
Okay. So, these are the things that we just need to be mindful about. We
Indeed.
want to think, organize, and be better in everything that we are doing. It's all about being better this year than we were last year.
That's
you know
right.
so we have to be accountable to ourselves. So be accountable to yourself and love
Mhm.
yourself, and it's not a guilt factor of loving yourself, because if you're not loving yourself, you can't love nobody else.
True.
You cannot love nobody else, and if you do love somebody else, it's going to be selfish.
Mm-hmm. All right. Ozzie, I know you can go on, but look, Lynette
Let's go,
said her go
Lizette.
to bed alarm went off about
Yeah.
10. So we
you
gonna
know
wrap it
i
up. So
just I actually just got warmed up. I'm in the second phase right now, mentally. So
indeed.
it was
So
great, and I am grateful for everyone that turned out tonight to conversation with Nicole, and I give honor and glory to Elohim, and I am grateful for all those who came in on the month of January and your hard work and dedication to share. I really appreciate you all, because I usually on the other end listening, and I know it take time, it take concentration and focus to really deliver and share with others. But the most important thing is finding value into it and really complimenting the host, to really putting all of this together, because this was her vision, but in the background, she have others working with her to make this, available for everyone. So, I am grateful for that. And I love supporting platforms that really focus on building others and cultivating others in mind, body, and soul.
oh, thank you, Ozzie. I appreciate you so much. Folks have been chiming in, good conversation. Thank you for sharing. Uh, Nicole said she got a question offline, so we'll handle that. Elnora, she said this was great. Alonzo was on. He said I came late, but
Hey,
I'll enjoy the,
Alonzo.
the replay. Tamika said awesome. Solomon Facts, thank you much, Nicole. No, it's my great pleasure. I really enjoy our community. Thank you, Susan, for being on. I really appreciate that. Especially my cousins that are in the VA. So, I wanted them to, since Ozzie is in Virginia, he comes to Suffolk from time to time. So, y'all might run across him and see him. So y'all, if y'all see him down,
Every Wednesday, I'm up
look,
there.
if y'all see him and stuff, give him a shout out, okay? All right. Thank you, Lynette. Appreciate you being on here. Look, Asta said, she said, thank you for sharing. Love the accent. So Asta is from Honduras.
St. Croix.
Uh-huh.
I'm a
No,
cruise man.
Asta who made the comment, he's from Honduras.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So Ozzie, how can folks connect with you?
Okay. You could connect with me on Facebook. You could connect with me on Messenger. If you connect with me on Facebook and you need to connect with me, I could give you my phone number, if you need professional, conversation on that. And if you need to look up in the Virginia area, chooseyourprovider.org. I work for an agency, but if you live in Virginia and you're looking for you want to give some kind of reference, or you want to get someone link up, that's a site that you could look up, chooseyourprovider.org. And yeah, that's the best way to reach me.
Okay.
Not by that site, but that just for general information if you need to find out more about the organization. But to reach me here on Facebook. That's the best way.
Okay. All right. I just put it in there. Visit chooseyourprovider.org.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Thank you, Princess. Appreciate you. Thank you. My mom was here, so thank you, Ma. Appreciate you too. All right. This has been good. This has been good. Hopefully, you got some really good nuggets from this. Again, catch the replay. let's keep the conversation going, y'all. Let's keep the conversation going. So share this with your friends, your family members, your coworkers, your church members, your loved ones, folks that might need some help with that work-life balance, that might need some assistance with managing their personal life, right?
And
Um,
it's your life.
it is your life for sure. It is your life.
Make
I
it a good
will.
one.
Yes, 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 yes. So coming up on Wednesday, we're kicking off February with Brandon Johnson. I actually met Brandon on Instagram, and he is the creator of the Black Mental Wellness Lounge. And we're gonna be talking about suicide in the Black community.
Mm,
Suicide in the Black community. I think I'm gonna be talking about suicide at least once a month for the remainder of the year because it is so
prevalent.
just it's happening more and more especially in the black community, so we need to be talking about those risk factors as well as some of the signs that maybe we may have ignored but are right in front of our face. So tune in 8:30. We'll be right back here for Wellness Wednesday. If you do not subscribe to Conversations with Nicole on YouTube, please do so. And also add Greater Works Network to your Roku television because you can see us right there live in your living room. All right, Ozzie, I'll see
Yes.
you Wednesday in the comments.
I'll see you Wednesday, Nicole, in the
All right.
comments. It
Yes,
was great. Thank you all for taking your time and spending an hour power here with us and sharing your insights, your thoughts, and I am grateful for your time and I am grateful. So
absolutely. All right, good people. Thank y'all so much. Y'all take care. Be safe out there. And God willing, we will see you on Wednesday.
good night.
All right. Good night.